You think expressive robots are impressive until one looks back at you like it actually understands you. SARA greets strangers with the warmth of a real Saudi woman. ARIA speaks with emotional timing that feels personal, and AYPERA, Turkey's digital actress, performs with expressions good enough for the big screen. And then AMECA throws a micro-expression so perfect even experts forget she's a machine. Hey guys, Alfie here. Welcome back to AI Nexus. So today, we're diving into the most realistic humanoid robots of 2025. Number 8. SARA, Saudi Arabia's first human-like icon. Saudi Arabia isn't just joining the global humanoid race, it's defining its own aesthetic within it. And the clearest example of that shift is SARA, the first female humanoid developed by QSS Robotics. She isn't positioned as a flashy tech demo or a walking machine meant to impress engineers. SARA was designed to feel recognizable, almost like meeting someone from your own community but built out of AI. Her breakout moment was at Deep Fest in Riyadh, and the reaction was instant. The crowd didn't lean back in surprise, they leaned forward out of curiosity. SARA's design mirrors the appearance and mannerisms of a modern Saudi woman, and that familiarity made her presence more approachable than most humanoids we've seen from Japan, Korea, China, or the West. She isn't meant to feel futuristic, she's meant to feel local. But what truly pushed her into viral territory were her interactions. SARA effortlessly switches between Arabic and English, maintaining eye contact with a sense of emotional timing that makes you pause for a second and question what you're looking at. Her facial tracking system and AI-driven expression engine create tiny, almost human imperfections. Subtle eyebrow shifts, warm smiles, slight pauses before speaking. The exact details that trick the brain into thinking, wait, does she actually understand me? Visitors tested her with jokes, casual questions, and unexpected topics. She handled everything with composed, culturally aligned responses. And that's the key. QSS deliberately built boundaries into her personality. SARA won't discuss politics, religion, or anything socially sensitive. Instead, she embodies warmth, respect, and modern Saudi values, an intentional move as the country introduces AI into public-facing roles. SARA represents something bigger than robotics. She's a technological mirror, showing how a nation can embed culture, identity, and social expectations directly into a humanoid design. Many robots try to look human. SARA tries to feel like someone real. Would you feel comfortable talking to a robot that mirrors real cultural behavior this accurately? Share your thoughts down below. Curious where you stand on SARA's realism. Number 7. ARIA, the hyper-real companion. ARIA is one of those robots that forces you to rethink what presence actually means. Revealed at CES 2025 by ROBOTICS, ARIA isn't built to walk, dance, or lift objects. Her entire purpose is emotional interaction, and at $175,000, she's one of the most advanced premium companion robots ever released. Everything about ARIA is modular. Owners can tailor her height, proportions, and external panels as if they're customizing a high-end luxury device. She moves on a smooth, wheeled base instead of legs, intentionally shifting the engineering budget toward realism instead of locomotion. And all of that design philosophy pays off as soon as you look at her face. ARIA's silicone head is controlled by 17 independent motors, each dedicated to micro-expressions. We're talking about millimeter-level emotional movement, tiny smile transitions, eyebrow lifts, soft eye narrowing, and subtle reactions that match the tone of your voice. Her appearance, hair, and face panels attach magnetically like high-end fashion components. ROBOTICS is even experimenting with RFID detection, allowing ARIA to recognize when her look has changed and adjust her behavior and personality accordingly. Inside, she runs a relationship-based AI stitched together from multiple open-source language models. This helps her avoid repetitive loops and instead respond with dynamic emotional nuance. She speaks 25 languages, adapts her personality in real time, and holds long conversations that feel less like a robotic assistant and more like a digital companion who genuinely remembers your mood. ROBOTICS even created Ask ARIA, an online twin of the robot that gathers conversational data to improve her emotional intelligence. Companies have reportedly used ARIA as a non-executive advisor, feeding her data and recording her responses. Half experiment, half comedy. ARIA isn't meant for mass adoption yet. She's a luxury robot for entertainment, hospitality, and companionship roles. But more importantly, she showcases where social humanoids are heading. Expressive AI personalities with customizable appearances and emotional responsiveness that pushes deep into the uncanny valley, and sometimes right through it. Number 6. AMECA, the world's expression benchmark. If expressive robotics had a celebrity, it would be AMECA. Engineered Arts has turned her into the internet's favorite humanoid, the robot whose videos you've probably had recommended to you more times than you can count. The 2025 version of AMECA is a full-body platform built for natural motion. Her gestures flow like water, her facial expressions react instantly, and her ability to adjust her emotional tone based on yours is almost unsettling in the best way. AMECA doesn't just reply, she responds. People who meet her describe the experience as talking to someone who happens to be made of aluminum instead of bone. Her pauses, her timing, the way she shifts her eyes before forming a sentence. It feels rehearsed, except it isn't. It's real-time behavioral AI layered onto some of the most advanced synthetic facial hardware in the world. If AMECA looks this real in 2025, what happens when Engineered Arts releases the next iteration? Because every year, the gap shrinks, and AMECA remains the benchmark others try to beat. Number 5. DUNYASHA, the charming cashier robot winning crowds. Russia brought its own flavor to the humanoid scene with DUNYASHA, a cashier robot with a surprisingly expressive face and personality. She first made headlines by handing out ice cream at exhibitions, but the real magic wasn't the dessert. It was the charm. DUNYASHA recognizes returning visitors, initiates conversations, and responds to spontaneous topics with a blend of scripted and AI-driven dialogue. Promobot's engineers crafted a skin-like exterior with high elasticity, allowing her cheeks, eyebrows, and mouth muscles to move with precision instead of the stiff, mask-like movement many robots suffer from. Her creators highlight her personality as one of her biggest achievements. She doesn't behave like a static kiosk or a basic information robot. She feels alive enough that visitors often stop, stare, and forget they're interacting with a machine. If you love these deep dives into the future of AI and robots, hit subscribe. We've got much crazier stuff coming. Number 4. Clone robotics, the most biological robot body ever built. Clone robotics has always aimed for one thing: biomechanical realism. And by 2025, they shocked the world again with a fully developed humanoid upper body that behaves more like a living organism than a robot. Their breakthroughs began with hyper-realistic hands and arms that flex like human muscle. But now they've extended that design language into the torso, shoulders, and expressive upper body gestures. The result is a humanoid that communicates through posture and movement as effectively as through dialogue. The detail that stunned audiences the most? Clone Robotics built a synthetic perspiration system. Yes, their robots sweat. The cooling liquid moves through artificial channels beneath the skin, keeping the joints from overheating. Under studio lighting, this creates a moist, lifelike sheen that tricks your eyes into thinking you're watching a biological organism, not a mechanical structure. No other robotics company has pushed human biomechanics to this level. Number 3. AHEADFORM M1. The most convincing robot face. Most robots stumble into the uncanny valley. The M1 from AHEADFORM jumps over it intentionally. M1 is a robotic head built to investigate one thing: what makes a robot face feel alive? And the answer, according to millions of views online, is micro-expressions. M1 blinks with natural timing, not the mechanical twitch we're used to. It tilts its head slightly when listening, pauses its jaw when thinking, and uses 25 micromotors to reshape its silicone skin with subtle, layered movements that mimic actual human muscle behavior. Its RGB eye cameras offer true gaze tracking, following your eyes instead of staring blankly ahead. Coupled with microphones and real-time speech syncing, M1 gives the illusion of genuine attention, something even full-body humanoids struggle to achieve. This project reflects years of research from founder Yuhang Hu, who has focused on expressive robotics and facial mirroring. And you can see that philosophy in every millisecond of M1's movement. Online reactions are split, which usually means a breakthrough just happened. Some viewers say M1 finally crosses the uncanny valley. Others say it gets too close for comfort. Do you think M1 truly crosses the uncanny valley? Or is it still on the edge? Comment below. Where do you draw the line on expressive robot faces? Number 2. SOPHIA. The first global celebrity android, SOPHIA from Hanson Robotics, has been in the spotlight for nearly a decade, but 2025 marks one of her biggest upgrades yet. She's the robot that introduced millions to the idea of realistic androids, and she continues to evolve in ways that keep her relevant in the humanoid space. Her newest version features improved skin materials, more realistic wrinkles and elasticity, upgraded eye tracking that follows your gaze in a natural arc, and miniature facial muscles that allow nuanced reactions. But what sets SOPHIA apart is her ability to hold meaningful conversations. With a more robust AI backend, she can maintain coherent dialogue without drifting, looping, or losing context. She's appeared on talk shows, hosted events, and given interviews that caught many viewers off guard with how natural her delivery has become. SOPHIA doesn't just fight the uncanny valley, she erases chunks of it every year. Number 1. AYPERA. Turkey's first digital actress. AYPERA is the outlier on this list because she isn't a physical robot at all. She's a virtual humanoid, Turkey's first AI-driven digital actress introduced in 2020. While most nations were experimenting with chatbots or animated characters, Turkey created a performer capable of starring alongside real actors. Her first major public appearance came at Contemporary Istanbul 2021, where she interacted with visitors through screens, installation setups, and real-time dialogue systems. Her identity was intentionally crafted to reflect Turkish culture, familiar facial features, expressions, and emotional cues that local audiences could relate to. Her big moment happened in 2022 when she appeared in the film Digital Human. The goal wasn't a cameo. AYPERA was marketed as a legitimate performer, with her own song Ishul Ishul and future projects planned to establish her as an international digital actress. Behind the scenes, AYPERA ran on early GPT-3-based dialogue systems and was rendered in Unreal Engine for cinematic realism. She proved that a humanoid doesn't need a physical body to make an emotional impact. And in 2025, as Hollywood debates AI actors, AYPERA stands as an early example of where digital performance might be heading. These robots aren't just improving, they're becoming believable. Expressions, conversation, movement, all crossing the line faster than anyone expected. So here's your question. Which moment made you forget you were watching a machine? Comment below. And stay tuned. The next generation of humanoids will be even more unreal. Remember that viral female robot XPeng revealed? The one that walked so perfectly people thought it was a human in a suit? Well, XPeng just announced that the iron platform behind it is now heading into mass production. And before you think this is a small update, even Elon Musk reacted to the iron demo, saying, "Not bad? Tesla and Chinese companies will dominate this space. Everyone else in the West is weak." If Musk is impressed, you know something big is happening. XPeng just revealed something nobody expected this early, and it changes everything. And behind this reveal, XPeng made their boldest statement yet. Mass production, from vision to reality. Just a straight-up confirmation that iron is entering the manufacturing phase. This isn't a lab experiment anymore. XPeng is gearing up to build humanoids at scale. But here's the part that really shocked everyone. XPeng didn't say whether these robots in formation were the male iron or the female iron. They keep calling it the iron platform, and they're technically right. The internals are the same, the body styling, the outer design, the appearance, those are all just skins. But let's be honest, the world isn't obsessed with the male iron, it's the female iron that broke the internet. The one that walked across the stage so naturally that millions of people refused to believe it was a robot. And if XPeng is mass-producing the iron platform, guess what that means? That smooth, eerie, almost human female version could end up being the mainstream face of iron. And that is wild to think about. But here's where the story gets even crazier. XPeng didn't just show a lineup of robots, they linked it to real numbers. They said 2026 is the year they start preparing the true manufacturing pipeline. And by the end of 2026, they expect large-scale production, not pilot batches, not test units, large-scale production. That's the kind of language companies use when they're preparing to ship thousands. And this means one thing for you and me. Humanoids aren't sci-fi anymore. They're becoming a product. If you had the chance, would you buy an iron robot in 2026? Yes or no, and why? Drop your thoughts below. I always check the comments, and some of your ideas are better than what the AI labs are doing. Now let's slow down for a second and talk about why this update is such a big deal. Because it's not only about the number of robots. It's about the female iron itself. The reason the world can't stop talking about it is simple. It doesn't move like a robot. It moves like a person. Before all this mass production talk, XPeng showed off a female version of iron at their AI Day in Guangzhou, and people were absolutely freaked out. This robot walked onto the stage with a clearly feminine shape. Slimmer waist, softer lines, model-like posture. And when it started walking, it didn't move like a typical stiff humanoid. It glided across that stage with slow, deliberate hip and shoulder movement. The arms swung naturally. It had this catwalk-style gait that made everyone's jaw drop. The audience started whispering, and social media exploded with the same question. Is this really a robot, or did XPeng just put an actual woman in a robot suit? Multiple reports say people in the crowd were convinced it had to be a human performer because the walk looked way too natural. So what did XPeng do? The CEO, Xiaopeng, brought the robot back on stage and literally cut into it. Right there in front of everyone. He peeled back the soft white outer layer, what some articles call synthetic flesh, and exposed the internal frame. Metal rods, servos, artificial muscle structures, the whole mechanical skeleton. And get this, he actually apologized to the robot while doing it. He said he hoped this would be the last time iron needed to prove it is itself. That's both hilarious and kind of haunting at the same time. But it worked. Robotics analysts confirmed iron really does use a human-like spine and leg architecture. There's this bionic fascia layer between the frame and the skin that helps smooth out motion so it feels organic. The female walk wasn't acting or tricks. It's real mechanical engineering in the hips, knees, and ankles, giving the robot that human gait. Peng has openly said iron will come in different body types and gender with customizable appearance and clothing. They want it to feel like a life companion or colleague, not just a cold machine. That's why they went hard on making the female version look and move so realistically. They're testing how people react to gender presentation in robots. And based on the internet response, mission accomplished. People are shocked, fascinated, and a little creeped out all at once. If you want real AI news without the fluff, make sure you're subscribed. We're just getting started. But XPeng didn't stop at appearance. They wanted to prove the body wasn't just for show. It could move. They released footage of an iron robot doing martial arts moves. And I'm not talking about jerky robotic karate chops. This thing drops into a proper martial arts stance with knees bent, feet planted wide, upper body relaxed and centered. Then it moves through this slow, controlled sequence. Arms sweeping in smooth arcs, wrists rotating into careful poses, fingers extending and curling with precision. The weight shifts from one leg to the other without any stumble or stutter. XPeng captioned it, "The Robot Kung Fu Master," with lines like, "In every move there's balance, in every pause there's power. Even robots can master the art of inner peace." Some people think it looks more like Tai Chi than hard Kung Fu because of how slow and meditative it is. But that's the point. The transitions are completely continuous, not stop-motion animation. Why does this matter? Because under the hood, iron has 82 degrees of freedom across its entire body. That means the spine, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles, wrists, and fingers can all coordinate together instead of moving like separate chunks. Each hand alone has 22 degrees of freedom for those delicate finger movements. And it's powered by 3 Turing AI chips pushing 2,250 trillion operations per second. That's the compute power generating and controlling those motions in real time. Xpeng isn't just making a robot that can walk from point A to point B, they're choreographing the whole body to move like a living thing. But Xpeng didn't stop at showing off that kung fu. They wanted everyone to see the hardware wasn't just flexible. It could pull off movements with surgical precision, two female iron robots walking side by side in perfect sync. And I mean perfect. Their movements are mirrored so flawlessly it creates this optical illusion like one is reflecting the other. But plot twist, there's no mirror. Both robots are real, and they're syncing up in real time. The gait is inspired by fashion models on a catwalk. It's all thanks to that biomimetic spine and muscle system that mimics human anatomy plus rapid imitation learning, where the bot copies human moves in seconds. Watching those two robots walk together is genuinely unsettling because of how human it looks. It highlights how repeatable and stable the robot gait can be when both units use the same motion patterns. But to understand how big this moment actually is,